Okay, so I'm going to be doing another update. Feeding them a bunch of super worms right now in this clip. Um, so I got the tripod to try and make it a little bit more stable for stuff like this, but still kind of working on it. It's challenging when you don't really know what you're doing. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of release another video of feeding. Um, have the camera, as you can tell, inside the cage. Um, so while I am going over this, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about their care and how I have them set up. I mentioned in the last video that they are on about a foot of depth of dirt sand mixture, and it's mixed in a way to where it compacts enough to where it's going to hold a burrow. Yeah, you can see them right there, a little scuffle over a worm, but not to worry, there's no really real aggression between them. It's just, pretty strong food response. So anyways, yeah, the soil is compacted in a way that it will be able to hold burrows, um, and hold a good amount of moisture to keep the cage nice and humid. I have a little hydrometer in there, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I don't really use it for accurate readings. I kind of use it as an indicator of when I should add more water to the soil. Because I live in a desert, which is a really dry environment, so pretty much everything feels humid to me. So basically, what I do is once it falls at or below 50%, I actually take their water bowl there, or water pan, I guess, and just dump it into the dirt. Um, it soaks in and keeps the humidity up, and then like I said in the previous video, once or twice a week I will take a spray bottle and just kind of mist down the enclosure. Um, they're not tropical forest species necessarily, so it's not really required to keep the humidity super high at all times. You just want to keep it high enough to where they're not going to get dehydrated very easily. Um, and a good indication of these types of monitors being dehydrated is if they soak themselves in the water or if they defecate in the water, because whenever they go poop or pee, they're losing a little bit of moisture from their body. And if they're already dehydrated, it's their instinct to keep as much of that moisture internally as possible. Um, so if they're already dehydrated, they seek out water to try and lose as little bit of that moisture as possible. Now, these guys, I honestly don't really see them drink too often, and as you saw earlier in the clip, they're not even fond of getting in the water. They never ever poop in the water. Um, so that's a pretty good indication, as well as their body condition. They have thick tails, thick limbs, they're active, their eyes are clear. You can kind of see around their eyes where it kind of raises up, where their eye socket is. So if that was sunken in a bit, that's also a good sign of dehydration. Um, the scary thing about these types of lizards, he just ate a little bit of dirt or something. What a goofball. And see, that's another thing too. Actually, now that that kind of came to light, um, a good reason to keep them hydrated and not dehydrated. Um, it's really hard for them to get impacted or constipated when they're hydrated properly, when they're not, struggling for moisture in their body. It's really easy for them to pass dirt like that, like if they accidentally eat a little bit of soil or whatever, something that's not alive. It's generally no big deal for them as long as their conditions are met properly and as long as they're not struggling um, with any of their health factors, I guess you could say. I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. Um, so Hydration, I can't really stress it enough. Keeping them properly hydrated, keeping the humidity up in their enclosure is extremely important. What also helps with that is the burrows themselves, because there's going to be a lot of moisture and water inside the soil. So their burrows are naturally going to be extremely humid. And that's going to help a lot when it comes to keeping hydration in their body. As you can see, I kept reaching in there and petting the male, trying to get him used to me, but he kind of got tired of it. And that's how I know he got tired of it. They kind of go away and they're like, well, kind of leave me alone. And that's fine. Once they're in that mood, I just leave them alone, because I don't want them to think that I am an enemy or that I'm out to get them or a predator or anything. Um, so proper hydration, proper humidity, and proper heat. Ackies like their surface temperature of their basking spot to be 130 to 140 degrees. A lot of people report seeing them bask at even higher temperatures than that. As long as you meet those basic requirements, they're actually extremely hardy animals. You could just sit there and feed them and feed them and feed them, rodents, bugs, whatever, and they're going to thrive for you. So what I like to do is that stack right there, and that provides a different temperature gradient for every hole in the stack. Um, Other than that, yeah, it's just pretty basic, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video.